Hello everybody. It has recently come to my attention that I have never made a Resident Evil games tier list video, which is very weird because I seem to remember doing one about 2 or 3 years ago, but apparently that never happened. And the last ranking video I did do on this channel was over a year ago, so I think that this is long overdue. And what better time than right before the 9th mainline entry in the series? Well, I guess right after the 9th mainline entry in the series, but fuck it, we're doing this. Maybe I'll do an updated video at the end of the year where I talk about Resident Evil 9 and whatever other Resident Evil content we get throughout the year, but I think for right now, we're just going to be sticking with the games that are already out. So without any further ado, let's just get into it. I think I'm actually going to start at the most recent game and work my way back, so that would make it the Resident Evil 4 Remake. You already know how I feel about this game. I mean, pretty much my entire channel was built off of this game, and I've just been kind of carrying it on ever since, but yeah, shit's a masterpiece, dude. The hype before the game dropped was through the roof, and honestly, I was thinking there's no way it could live up to the hype, especially with the bar that the original Resident Evil 4 set, but it somehow miraculously managed to pull through and become an amazing game. Still don't think it's quite as good as the original, but it is without a doubt one of the best games in the series. I'm gonna put this in S tier. It's a masterpiece, bro. I played that game for countless hours, dude. You don't want to see how many hours I put into this game. It's ridiculous. RE-verse. I recently put out the video that we made on RE-verse, but that doesn't really tell the full story, so let me go into it. Let me set the scene for you real quick. It's late 2022. The hype for the Resident Evil 4 remake and Resident Evil Village DLC is through the roof. Everyone is hyped for these games. Then you come to find out that alongside the RE Village DLC comes this game known as RE-verse. So naturally, after completing Shadows of Rose, you go and check it out just to see if it's fun. You get some people together on Discord and you play a few rounds, and it actually turns out to be really fun. I don't know where the hell I'm going with this, but I'm just saying 2022 was like the year, bro. And I don't even think it's just nostalgia at this point. I think that this game was very decent. It 100% had its flaws though. I'm not trying to glaze here or say it's a perfect game at all. There was definitely a lot wrong with this game, and a lot of potential they could have capitalized on to make this game huge and great that just didn't happen. It definitely fell flat in a lot of areas, but regardless of that, it was always a fun experience. It's never like you get done playing it and you're just like, that wasn't that fun. That never really happens. I mean, even if you're playing with randoms online, but especially if you're playing in like a lobby with your friends or something, this game was always a fun experience, but it was definitely not perfect, so I will put it in my personal B tier. Resident Evil Village. Has it really been 5 years? I remember seeing this game at the PlayStation 5 showcase back in 2020, and I was hyped, super excited, and when the game dropped, it definitely lived up to the hype. I still stand by my statement that Resident Evil Village is the best storytelling game in the series. I remember having this game pre-ordered and downloading it right at midnight the day that it dropped, playing it the following morning and just having a blast. And after about 2 or 3 playthroughs, I started to see the true greatness that this game holds. And now 5 years later, after playing through the whole game countless times, I could say, in my opinion, this is arguably the best game in the series, but it still doesn't crack the #1 spot for me. The story was amazing, the gameplay was a massive improvement from Resident Evil 7, and the way they fleshed out Ethan's character, making him one of the best in the series, just to kill him off at the end was a genius move on Capcom's part. But I think I'm definitely gonna have to slide Village into S tier. One of the best games in the series, arguably the best, but my #1 spot is saved for one game and one game only. Moving on, we have the Resident Evil 3 remake. I think I pretty much have the same opinion as a lot of people who played the original RE3 before this game, and that opinion is that Capcom completely missed the mark here. Not only did they cut out some some of the best parts of the original game, but they also just made the story and all the characters a little bit worse than they were in the original game. Except for Carlos, that is. They actually did a really good job with him in the remake. As a standalone game, it's great. I would even argue that a lot of the gameplay aspects are drastically improved from the RE2 remake. The thing that holds this game back is the fact that it's a remake. As a remake, it definitely missed the mark, so I'm gonna have to put it in B tier. Resident Evil Resistance. I don't really have much to say here, except the game is mediocre, to be honest. C tier. Resident Evil 2 remake, immediate S tier. This shit, amazing game. I would even go so far as to say it's better than the original Resident Evil 2. Resident Evil 7, the reinvention that the series needed to push it forward. I think Resident Evil 7 is a vital part of the RE series, and it served as a perfect comeback game to a series that at the time was slowly but surely dying off. I think it was a necessary reinvention and return to the survival horror genre that the series was built off of. So for that reason, as well as the fact that the gameplay and story were also amazing, I'm gonna have to put it in S tier. Before the video continues any longer, I wanted to let you guys know that I am trying to hit 10,000 subscribers by the time Resident Evil 9 releases. So if you're enjoying the video, please be sure to hit the like and subscribe buttons down below. Maybe share the video with a friend and tell them to subscribe. I don't know. Also, both of my Discord servers are dead and I'm trying to revive them, so I'll leave the links to join in the description if you want, because I'm going to be having a lot of videos coming up where Discord members get to participate, so the links to join those will be in the description down below. Now, I'm done bothering you. Let's get back to the video. Umbrella Corps. I'm going to say it's worse than Resistance. Just by a little bit, though. The fact that the Umbrella Corps servers are still up, despite the fact that you literally can't find a match when you go to play online, it's actually perplexing to me, especially considering that the RE-verse servers were shut down, even though no matter where you were at any given time, you could find a lobby of 4 to 6 people. If you've never played Umbrella Corps, you're not really missing out. There wasn't much to it. The story mode was mediocre at best. I would even go so far as to say it was subpar, but let me know what you guys think. Revelations 2, a personal favorite of mine. The story is actually perfect, I'm not gonna lie. The way it switches back and forth from Claire and Barry's perspective is actually insane. It's very interesting because Claire's section takes place in 2012, around the time that Resident Evil 6 is taking place. Then we have Barry's portion of the game, which takes place 6 months after Claire's. Probably one of the only complaints I have about this game is that they don't really make it known that there's a second ending. I remember for like the first 2 to 3 years that I played this game, I had no idea that there was a second ending. I used to get the bad ending every time that I played, and I would try to piece it together, like, why does it end like that? Is it like a cliffhanger? What's going on? Then eventually I learned through trial and error and just playing the game over and over again that there is indeed a second ending that is a good ending. The raid mode is fun, the story mode is fun. I think it's all around a good game. Personal bias aside, actually, it's a tier list on my favorite games, so actually personal bias included, I'm putting it in S tier. Fuck it, I don't care. Resident Evil 6. People are gonna hate me for this, but also going in S tier, bro. People seem to hate on Resident Evil 6 a lot, but it's actually the game that got me into the series. So quite possibly if I never played this game, I wouldn't be here making this video right now. Also on top of that, it just has some of the craziest character development in the series. The dynamic between Chris and Piers at the beginning of the game versus the end of the game is noticeably different. Jake's character development is some of the best in the series, and Helena's whole story that we get to experience and learn about through Leon's campaign is also very well done. I think a lot of people won't admit it because they didn't like the gameplay, but story-wise, Resident Evil 6 is one of the strongest in the series, so I'm gonna have to slide it into S tier. Operation Raccoon City. It's a non-canon experience that was kind of fun, but very lackluster compared to a lot of the games on this list, but I'm still gonna have to slide it into, I'm thinking C or B here. I don't know. Personal opinion, I might actually have to put it into B, because it's fun. I'm not gonna sit here and defend the game like, oh my god, it had the best story. It had insane gameplay. It was revolutionary. No, it wasn't. Very mediocre, very lackluster, as I said before. But I remember booting up the Xbox 360, putting this game in, and actually having quite the time. So I will have to slide it into B tier just off of personal opinion. Revelations 1. I've definitely played it less than a a lot of the others on this list, but I still beat it a good 4 or 5 times, so I think I have the right to form an opinion about it now. The gameplay isn't the best, but it's also not the worst. The same thing could be said for the story. It really sets up a lot of cliffhangers that never end up getting acted on. But regardless, it's fun. I think it's going to be our first A tier pick here. I definitely put it above the RE3 remake and RE-verse, but it's not sliding into the league of the RE4 remake and Resident Evil Village. Mercenaries 3D is actually one I've never played, despite the fact that a Nintendo 3DS was one of the first ever video game consoles I had. But we're just gonna be leaving that there. Dark Side Chronicles, bro. You're playing this game for the story. Nobody's playing for the on-rails shooter. Actually, I take that back. It's kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever I boot this game up, which it's been a while now, but it takes me back to the days when I used to play this shit non-stop, bro. The fact that you're able to learn Leon and Krauser's history was actually amazing, especially if you play it after you play Resident Evil 4. But anyway, I guess that's enough yapping. Let's put it in A tier. It's an amazing game, but it's held back by the fact that it's an on-rails shooter, you know. Anyway, moving backwards, we have Resident Evil 5. Previously the highest selling game in the series. It actually held that title from like, what was it? 2011 to 2024, so that was fucking insane. RE5 had a run for sure. I don't see it getting as much hate as Resident Evil 6, but people still like to clown on it for some reason. Maybe because of the whole boulder punching thing. People are gonna be mad at me for putting RE6 in S tier and RE5 in A tier, but whatever. Umbrella Chronicles, very similar thing to Dark Side Chronicles. I don't think the story is as strong, but it does let you in on some key parts of the Resident Evil lore, especially when regarding the Umbrella Corporation and their final years before shutting down. I'm gonna have to slide it into A tier as well for the same reason as the Dark Side Chronicles. And now moving on, we have the GOAT, undisputed champion of Resident Evil games. Resident Evil 4 Original. Do I need to say anything? Do I need to say anything? No, I don't need to say anything. We're putting it in S freaking tier. No, move out of the way. There we go. Number 1, undisputed champion of all Resident Evil games. I don't think it'll ever be topped. I'm rating both of the Outbreak games as 1 because I played them both consecutively, like back to back. I never got to experience the online aspect of these games, but even playing them solo, I think they're still pretty great. I'm gonna slide them into S tier as well, just because I recommend anybody to play both of these games, especially with Alyssa Ashcroft returning for Resident Evil 9. You need to be caught up on the lore, so go ahead and play them. Dead Aim, huh? If you watched my video ranking every Resident Evil character, you would know I hold this game in high regard. It kinda laid the groundwork for RE4 in a way. When you play this and then you go back to play Resident Evil 4, you could tell they drew a lot of inspiration from this game. Amazing game with a pretty good story. I'm sliding it into A tier, you already know. Now, this brings us to the first Resident Evil game that I've ever played, Resident Evil 0. The sheer amount of hate that the community generates for this game is ridiculous. You could go anywhere on the internet and just see all this Resident Evil 0 hate. It's like everyone's like, trash game, this, that. Like, bro, what the fuck, bro? Is it really that bad that we didn't get an item box, bro? Come on. This is my opinion. I'm sliding it into S tier. RE1 Remake. See, this was kind of like the first Resident Evil 7 in a way. I think they perfectly executed this, although the fucking Crimson Heads, dude. Fuck those guys. I actually played the original Resident Evil 1 on the PlayStation 1 before I ever played this game, so maybe I just have a higher appreciation for it than someone who maybe didn't play the original Resident Evil 1 and is going into this after the RE4 remake. The RE1 remake is literally everything that the Resident Evil series should be and was and still is. Pure perfection. Anyway, S tier. Who has played Survivor 2, bro? Where are these people at? I think it was like an arcade game, right? Was it not? I don't know. Regardless, I've never played it. I'm not ranking it. Gaiden, bro. See, I booted up this game for 2 seconds on an emulator one time because I wanted to do this video. I think I was gonna call it I played Resident Evil Guidance so you don't have to, or some shit. I don't know. But I still haven't played enough to form an opinion about it. Maybe I'll do that video sometime in the future though. Tell me in the comment section below if you'd want to see that video. If you want to see me play Resident Evil Guidance so you don't have to, tell me in the comments and maybe the video will be dropping soon. I don't know. Just an idea. Code Veronica, huh? Just seeing this game just kind of hits you with the nostalgia, bro. I think this was the last true fixed camera game that we got before Dead Aim and Resident Evil 4 came in and kind of switched it to more of the third person style. I think this is the newest pure original Resident Evil formula game, so fuck, I don't know. I'm kind of stuck between A and S tier for this one. The story is important as it sets up Wesker and Chris's rivalry, but there were a lot of places that this game fell short. I think we might have to go S tier. I don't think I've actually ever played Survivor. I do own a copy because I got it at a used game store for like 15 bucks for the PS1. Why haven't I played it? I've had that game for like probably 5 years now and I still haven't played it. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll do playing Survivor for the first time. Resident Evil 3 Nemesis. It's everything that the remake wasn't. Let me put it that way. Definitely one of the highlights in the series. I still stand by my statement that Code Veronica is the true Resident Evil 3, but even despite that, and even with this game lacking in comparison to, let's say, the original Resident Evil 1 or 2, or even Code Veronica, it's still such a vital part in the series and introduced us to the one and only Nemesis, one of the most iconic bosses in gaming history. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I guess Mr. X in RE2, but aside from that, I think Nemesis was really one of the first ever stalker enemies in a video game. I think the Resident Evil series kind of pioneered that stalker enemy aspect of gaming. Mr. X did a good job in the original RE2, but Nemesis is where they really perfected it, so we're gonna have to slide that into S tier as well. No, how about we just do this? How about we just do this? They're all in S tier. The rest of the games, you already know. I mean, I'm not going to make you guys wait. Bro, RE2, it's like RE4. It kind of goes without saying, but I will explain that the feeling of actually beating this game and then unlocking the second run, it's actually crazy. They do kind of do you dirty because Disc 1 is Leon's and Disc 2 is Claire's, despite Claire's actually being the A scenario canonically. The original Resident Evil pioneered survival horror. Resident Evil 2 perfected survival horror. I think Resident Evil 2 is where the series really got pushed out there. And it was the introduction of Leon Kennedy and Claire Redfield, two of the most iconic characters in gaming history. So it's kinda hard not to put it in S tier. And the original Resident Evil, the start of it all, yeah, it's gotta be in there. I mean, come on, bro. We got Chris and Jill and the GOAT Barry Burton. We got Rebecca Chambers. We got Albert Wesker. Dude, we got the whole squad. Some of the best characters in gaming history all in the same game, and it was the debut of the series. But anyway, here's what the final list looks like. Tell me in the comments what you think, and if you agree with my list. And if you don't agree, tell me that as well. I want to hear it. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, because I'm going to be dropping a lot more leading up to Resident Evil 9's release. Also, both of my Discord servers are currently dead, and I'm trying to revive them, so if you want to help me out, the links to join will be in the description. And now with all that being said, I'll see you guys on the next episode of Bagels Battles.
Backseat driving me, I had to take the wheel. Check the past me, rhyming, see I always kept it real. They gon' ask me why I'm here, I just do what I feel. Took the back street grind and put the pedal to the steel.